France's decision to invest heavily in the Caesar Mark II self-propelled howitzer is more than an act of upgrading artillery. It is a strategic affirmation of France's long-standing doctrine of sovereign defense capability and industrial independence. For decades, France has resisted reliance on United States-supplied major weapon systems, favoring instead a robust indigenous capability, embodied by companies like Dassault, Thales, Safran, and Nexter. The Caesar system represents the continuation of that legacy. It is not merely a weapon platform that fires shells across the battlefield. It is an artifact of national identity, industrial confidence, and strategic culture. Many within France see this purchase not as isolated procurement, but as part of a broader long-term plan to ensure that the French army remains backed by French-built systems designed specifically for French doctrine. The original Caesar Mark I already demonstrated impressive battlefield performance, gaining international attention especially after its use by Ukrainian forces. Its operational agility, rapid deployment, and accuracy helped cement its reputation as a world-class howitzer. The Caesar Mark II builds directly on that legacy with major improvements, including a more powerful engine, enhanced suspension, and significantly better armored protection for the crew. The system's ability to fire quickly and relocate before counter-battery detection represents a crucial priority in modern warfare, where advanced counter-fire radars can track artillery positions within seconds. With the Mark II, France clearly aims to field a platform that not only shoots precisely, but survives in an increasingly lethal, sensor-saturated battle space. Ordering 109 Caesar Mark II systems is not random. It is a response to the dramatically shifting strategic calculus within Europe. The war in Ukraine fundamentally reshaped thinking across the continent regarding the role of artillery. This war has demonstrated that despite drones, precision missiles, and electronic warfare, classic tube artillery still produces an overwhelming portion of battlefield firepower. Artillery remains, as many analysts have commented, the king of modern land warfare. For the French army, acquiring the new Caesar systems ensures that France will not face a capability gap if Europe ever confronts a major conventional conflict. These howitzers are meant to be integrated into existing armored and mechanized brigades, providing high-mobility fire support capable of engaging targets at extended range, with rapid displacement that reduces vulnerability to return fire. Another strategic dimension is the French preference for domestic equipment over foreign importation. The United States offers numerous artillery solutions, including the tracked M109 and the rocket-based HIMARS, which many allies have been eager to purchase. France instead stays committed to Caesar because it reflects a sovereign industrial approach to defense. The weapon does not represent dependence on a transatlantic supplier, but rather the capability of French engineers, French manufacturing, and French design philosophy. When a Caesar fires on a battlefield, it carries with it the implication that France can defend itself with systems made by its own industrial base, tailored to its operational requirements rather than borrowed from Washington's doctrine. Public opinion within France on this modernization program is far from monolithic. Many French citizens regard Caesar as a symbol of national pride, pointing to France's place as one of the few countries still capable of designing, building, and exporting advanced artillery systems. For them, the purchase supports not only military readiness, but also employment, technical development, and engineering capability. However, there exists another line of sentiment that views expanded military expenditure with skepticism. Critics ask whether public funds should instead be directed toward healthcare, education, or energy reform rather than armaments. Their argument is not anti-army in spirit as much as it is rooted in economic prioritization. A third position acknowledges both perspectives, arguing that while peace is the goal, deterrence is the requirement, and a sufficiently equipped army remains essential for any credible national defense posture. A practical challenge emerges in the question of whether the French defense industry can scale production rapidly enough to meet contemporary strategic needs. Analysts from French media, particularly economic and defense specialists, have warned that the nation's industrial base is optimized for limited peacetime procurement rather than surge-capacity wartime production. If a crisis demanded mass output of hundreds of artillery systems, France might be forced to restructure its production ecosystem. This would require not merely expanding physical assembly lines, but also accelerating supply chain throughput for barrels, breech assemblies, optics, electronics, and digital fire control components. France would need to bridge the gap between artisanal high-tech manufacturing and industrial mass output capability. It is feasible, but it would require planning and investment that go beyond incremental procurement. The Caesar Mark II must also be understood as part of a wider modernization of the French army. The platform will not operate in isolation. It will integrate with reconnaissance drones, counter-battery radars, digital command networks, and potentially new automated ammunition handling systems. This synergy of assets will allow France to coordinate artillery fire with actionable intelligence and fluid tactical maneuvering. The French army has been steadily adapting to an era of networked warfare, where speed of data transmission and quality of targeting information can matter as much as physical firepower. The Caesar Mark II is designed to be a node in that larger information-driven defense ecosystem. Strategically, this procurement signals that France anticipates a future in which conventional warfighting in Europe is a risk that must be taken seriously. Paris is not preparing for a hypothetical conflict 5 decades ahead. It is preparing for one, possibly within 1 or 2 decades. The commitment to artillery specifically hints at a doctrinal belief that any serious engagement in Europe would involve mobile land warfare involving armored and mechanized forces, where rapid-fire artillery is indispensable. France is also positioning itself as a pillar of European defense, able to support Allied operations without depending on foreign suppliers for essential systems. Ultimately, the Caesar Mark II symbolizes more than an upgrade. It is a statement. It asserts that France intends to remain a nation that can equip itself, support its allies, and maintain strategic autonomy inside a European theater that is becoming increasingly militarized. It reflects confidence in domestic industry, but also readiness to adapt to a harsher strategic environment on the continent. Whether viewed as a burden on taxpayers or a necessary investment in national resilience, the Caesar Mark II stands at the intersection of military necessity, industrial capacity, and national identity. Its presence on the battlefield, if ever required, will not only represent French firepower, but the enduring philosophy that France must be able to defend itself through its own technological excellence and strategic will.